with a water keg tied on the rail. There's Daddy and Ma on the mule seat, somewheres along by the way. A tow-headed gal on a pinto, a jangling for old Santa Fe. Yo-ho, jangling for old Santa Fe.
In 1821, Mexico gained independence from Spain. After years of isolation, the Mexican territory had opened its borders, providing a new avenue of commerce. To the east, Franklin, Missouri rested on the cutting edge of the American frontier. It was the home of an obscure character named William Becknell.
You'd probably have to say as of 1821 that William Becknell was a born loser. And then all of a sudden, he got a brilliant idea. He decided to become a traveling merchant and to go to the far southwest. They put together a mule train loaded with trade goods, struck out across the Kansas prairies, ascended the Arkansas River, and crossed the mountains to Santa Fe. And there Becknell sold all his goods at enormous profit. In one bold stroke, he had opened a new international trail of commerce. He turned his personal fortunes around, and he walked straight into the history books.
Others followed. Along the trail, they found great adventure and challenge. The road could be harsh and unforgiving. But as long as the promise of vast profits beckoned, the wagon wheels carved deeper into the Santa Fe.
Ese camino famoso con rumbo a los estados, vereda de Santa Fe, cada año fue caminada. Pues estas gentes que fueron.
The trail was a river of commerce flowing east and west through often disputed and changing boundaries, through forts and settlements, through ranchos and villages, across the open prairie. Towns born along its route benefited from a great commingling of cultures.
Get going, you bullwhackers! Through desert heat and dust, your throats will soon be choking. Your head's about to bust. The water when you're thirsty. And all you get to eat is aromatic antelope and sun-baked buffalo meat.
We may not even live to get our pay.
But even if we don't get paid, there ain't no job we trade for hauling freight from state to state along the Santa Fe.
Hauling freight from state to state along the Santa Fe.
For 60 years, men and women, wagons and mules traversed the trail. But then came the railroad.
Take a good look, gentlemen. The beginning of the railroad to Santa Fe. These rails are going to stretch their way right across the old trail, right over Kansas, down into the territory of New Mexico.
Paved roads followed. In places, the trail ruts can still be seen. But in others, the trail has been consumed by progress. By the 1980s, large sections of the trail were lost or forgotten. In these busy times, who'd still be interested in the old Santa Fe anyway?
Me? Well,
Well, 47 years later, Reagan found his name linked once again to the Santa Fe Trail. In his role as president, Reagan signed a bill making the real Santa Fe Trail an historic landmark. That designation makes federal dollars available to maintain the old Santa Fe Trail. Congressmen from New Mexico and Missouri have fought for the historical designation for several years now.
Finally.
The trail is now a part of the National Trail System, although the National Park Service is administering it as a part of the National Park System. Just as Grand Canyon or just as Yellowstone, we consider it that important. We're kind of like the wagon master of a wagon train that would have come along the old Santa Fe Trail. And we have to try and maintain harmony from start to finish. We're excited about it. We're hoping that very soon the nation will know more about the old Santa Fe Trail and know more about our history, because the National Park Service has that unique role of being the custodians of our national heritage, and this is just another piece of it that's being preserved and being preserved forever to be passed on to everyone else.
National Park Service.
Park Service plans include helping to identify and protect the trail. The Park Service is also interested in helping to interpret the story of the trail and create opportunities for recreational use along its route today.
The orange line delineating the historic route and the black line delineating the auto tour.
But the greatest potential of the trail can only be realized with the help of a lot of individuals and organizations, all working together, each making a unique and lasting contribution. From Old Franklin to Santa Fe, 5 states, 38 counties, hundreds of historic sites, over 1 million people, and one great trail.
The last few years, we've seen a rising interest in the story of the Santa Fe Trail, partly because of the elevation of the trail to National Historic Trail status.
It's a historic treasure. After all, this was the main highway of commerce across the United States.
Well, now they have a chance to see what we really have here in Kansas. And these are the authentic ruts of the Santa Fe Trail, and the beauty of it, it's documentation backwards, forwards, the whole business, see? So there's no tall stories, no fabrication, no exaggeration. This is the pure, unadulterated, 100% original ruts of the Santa Fe Trail.
Many of your modern-day trail travelers expect to find tractor ruts like you might find in a Missouri farmer's field in the springtime, but really, after 100 years, they look much more like this is behind me, broad swales and an open plain.
And we even found what we presume was a fire pit that the caravans used when they would round up at night to camp. And as I say, you could almost hear the wagon masters and the horses and so forth. It was very interesting.
I've read, I don't know how many books on it. I haunt the interlibrary loan system for books, for journals, for diaries, in trying to find more information about the trail.
So you're addicted?
I'm addicted. I'm a trail junkie.
They're really excited. Every year our new 5th graders come into the classroom and they say, when do we get to go to the grasslands? And so we hope by fixing up Wagon Bed Springs that we can take them down here now.
During the summertime, there are travelers who come through here and ask, how do you get to Wagon Bed Spring? So it's hard to direct them, and there's little to see when they're down there. But we're going to change all that.
We formed this Historical Preservation Committee in an effort to get Watros involved in the Santa Fe Trail. We'd like to see what we can do to promote the area and the historical preservation of it.
What we can really share with those people that come here now is this cultural interaction that the trail brought about. We brought Anglos and Hispanics together, and the things that came out of that joining are really, to me, quite beautiful.
For the community, this is a national trail. It's not just goes through Panhandle, Oklahoma. It goes through, from Missouri plumb to Santa Fe.
Everywhere I go, I see a lot of enthusiasm, people living all along the trail, and as a matter of fact, people in other parts of the country who get interested in the history of this particular chapter of the American West, and so they join the Santa Fe Trail Association, our nonprofit group, which is dedicated to promoting and preserving this historic trail.
Well, I'd like to see it preserved, but I'd also like, I'd like to see it publicized so that people can come and see it, but I want them to take care of it. I mean, I don't want them to run over the people that's got the land that it's on. I want them to, work with the people and get everything in harmony.
2 miles north of here, there's some real great ruts over there that pasture has never been plowed up, and anybody that's interested in this thing, well, I'll help them promote it.
The trail has so much history, and the trail signifies America on the move. And whenever we preserve these things that has made America great, to me, we have done the future generations a great service and something that will live on long after I'm gone.
The trail will live on, so long as we make an effort to keep our history alive.
This is when the pioneers were climbing up, going up the Wagon Mound Hill in their covered wagons with the horses and cows and steers and stuff, and they went back to where they lived, and they went and they ate, and then they went to bed.
Historically, the Santa Fe will be remembered as the trail that brought prosperity and profits to the Old Southwest. And today, in terms of discovery of the past and outdoor adventure, there's every reason to expect the same. As wagon masters cried 100 years ago, all set!
I don't know her name over the prairie, and it comes to one gal that's pretty white. It's shorter from hell to Hilary than it is on this Santa Fe ride. I guess I'll make cedars by sundown. I'll camp somewhere in a swell. I'll come on a gal and a pinto alongside the Santa Fe Trail. Yo-ho, alongside the Santa Fe Trail, alongside the Santa Fe